I'm gonna cut your beard.
I can't do accents still, man.
That was
Hey guys, and welcome to another chapter of the Malt Chronicles. I am super excited and I'm intrigued. I am intrigued to know what this is. So, please put us out of our misery. Please, can you put us out of our misery now?
I will, I promise.
Please.
So,
I'm just like, what is it? What is it? I'm just,
I personally had the chance to try this product before it was released, and when I tried it, I said, wow. And my first idea was, I need to put my hand on that, and I want the boys to try it. So they've tried it today. We'll see later on the blind tasting, but now, once again, focus on their faces. This is precious. This is pure gold, boys.
What's it?
Ladies and gentlemen, a bit of innovation.
Whoa!
No.
Oh, oh, you are in for a treat. So,
No.
Ailsa Bay 1.2, let's see on the blind tasting.
Hello viewers, hello Vas.
straight away, it invited me with this big. Have some of that. Have some of that peat.
Whoa, shizness.
Yeah, that's definitely peat.
There's a peat bog, is what I'm gonna say.
She has a secret.
Mud, dirt,
Salted caramel,
white sugar,
honey,
cardamom.
fresh pears.
Whoa!
It's clean, soft, easy going. It's a fine balance.
What the hell am I drinking?
That creamy texture
Blew it up in my mouth.
of sort of creme brulee.
Either that or they've done some witchcraft with it.
Good viscosity.
Dirt, earth, rawness, that was insane.
Really keeps developing all the way down.
I get peat, some more peat, a little bit of smoke, then some fire, then a engulfing flame that just takes over everything else.
So it's peated, but not Isla.
I've got to say Ailsa, and it reminds me of the Ardbeg Horrorbeck.
45 to 50.
Around £50 I think would be a fair price for this whiskey.
4-star.
Go with 3.5.
It's definitely a whiskey that I could drink.
Very different from anything else I've tried. I'm a novice and I apologise.
But you thought it was an optimal?
No, you said Ardbeg?
I said Ardbeg and I mentioned Optimal 8.1. But the smoke for me is quite apparent. The first time I tried it wasn't, but this time now, the smoke's apparent for me. I didn't notice it the first time. I'm enjoying this a lot more on a second tasting.
Yeah, it's a different type of peat, of course. As it's lowlands, it's more floral, it's more aromatic. You, David, have mentioned it's more earthy. So we're missing the salt in that. We're missing the medicinal, like the most phenolic aspects of that. On the palate, I will disagree. I would say it's more peatier on the palate than on the nose. On the nose, it's very like retracted, but as soon as you try it, the sweetness kicks in.
Yeah.
So you have all this like toasted almonds, caramelized orange peel or candied orange peel. You get these candies.
Definitely getting that sort of like burnt honey.
Heather honey.
Heather honey.
I did notice this earlier.
It's definitely a candy shop.
Yeah, I picked up candy canes, so Christmas candy canes.
Yeah, nice.
It's mad.
It's mad, yeah. But the funny thing is, this is a lowland whiskey.
It's a lowland whiskey. Yeah.
Lowland whiskey. So there's about 6 distilleries in the lowlands, one of them Ailsa Bay, and this is heavily smoky, which is totally unusual for the lowland style of whiskeys.
Definitely.
Now, Ailsa Bay in the lowlands, as I said earlier, I've been to the distillery a few months ago. Av was there about 2 years ago.
About 2-3 years ago. Yeah.
Did they release any whiskies when you were there?
When I was there, they didn't. They just showed us around the distillery. They were just telling us that we're not allowed to talk about what we see at the distillery.
Call your lawyer.
And literally, we're like, okay. So, and then about a year and a half ago, they launched the 1.1 on the domestic market.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're talking about the 1.2.
Yeah. So 1.2. This is the second release from the Ailsa Bay distillery. Now, the distillery itself was opened to relieve the pressure from the Balvenie distillery, as there was a huge demand on the Balvenie spirit, and they opened the distillery with the same exact stills, the replica stills from the Balvenie distillery, with a few modifications, with just a few tweaks. So the main whiskies that the distillery produces are used for blends, but for the single malt, they use the whiskey only once a year. So basically they have a pit week once a year to produce the heavily style of peated whiskey. Now the distillery produces 4 main types of whiskies. So they have a fruity character style of whiskey. So that's going to be similar to the Speyside style. They have a meaty character. Now that's due to the stainless steel condensers that they are using, so they can change the style of the whiskey.
Wow.
Okay.
They have a lightly peated style of whiskey and they have a heavily peated style of whiskies.
Nice.
So this is 4 styles straight away. But imagine when you are using the lightly peated with the meaty one, you have another style. When you use the lightly peated with the fruity one, you have another style. So when you use the heavily peated with those ones, so there's minimum 6 outputs that the distillery can produce. So it's a very modern distillery. It's actually the baby distillery of a team of science with Brian Kingsman.
Yeah, definitely a team of scientists with Brian Kingsman.
But it's not the only distillery that produces different style of whiskies. We have distilleries like Bruichladdich, Loch Lomond, we have Springbank. They all produce like minimum 3 styles of whiskies. And probably the closest to Ailsa Bay that was opened just a few years after Ailsa is Rose Isle. They also have, that's a Diageo distillery, they also have stainless steel condensers which they can tweak around. And Rose Isle is the main malt used for Copper Dog, the blended malt.
No way.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
We're giving out some facts after facts today. I'm liking this so far.
Can I ask about the shape of the bottle, because that's an unusual shape,
That is
right?
an unusual shape.
That's just a
bottle.
big size test tube.
Exactly. You mentioned scientists, and it does look like a test tube.
It does.
What a great design.
Yeah.
Once again, no packaging. Once again, environment, and once again, cutting the price down, which I'm okay with that. I'll have a good malt without the box, as long as it's a good malt.
On the right bar, that looked cool. I can imagine that in The Alchemist.
Absolutely.
Now, micro maturation, as I've mentioned. So basically, this is innovating again, and there's no other distillery that do that. So they take the distilled spirit and they put it into small barrels from Toot Hill Town Distillery in Hudson, called Hudson Baby Casks. So they vary up from 25 liters to 100 liters.
Okay.
So think of it as reverse finishing.
Yeah.
They put the whiskey in the barrels first, and then after 6 to 9 months they move it into the normal barrels, which once again are first fill American oak bourbons, second fill, and virgin American oak. So after several years of maturation, they combine all these styles together. But this is like a kickstart, like a push. Hudson Baby, micro maturation, because it's a micro distillery, hence why is the name micro maturation.
Because the wood ratio to the liquid, it creates that rapid maturation inside there. Yeah, absolutely.
So in that case, they are unique. Nobody else is doing that.
Definitely.
I did have a quick question though, because you mentioned about the sizes. Can you just compare those sizes to what a normal size barrel is?
Oh, a normal size is 200 liters for barrel, which is bourbon barrel. And hogshead, rebuilt barrel, is going to be 250 liters. So think of that as 4 times the size.
It was just so that you guys all got that, because some people might not know the size of the casks.
Now, they also mentioned underneath micro maturation a few numbers, 22 parts per million, that's the smokiness, and 19 sweet parts per million.
That's the first time, I think, as well, that they've actually done that. They've actually broken the molecule down to find the sweetness of a whiskey, right?
That's Brian Kinsman to you.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
Brian Kinsman to you.
Lucky enough to have tried this with Brian as well.
Oh yeah, we actually
we met Brian at the roadshow. There's a little photo of us on our Instagram account.
Man,
So
that's
with
good.
sweetness, nobody else is doing that, actually measuring the sweetness of the whiskey. But with phenol parts per million, of course, everybody who peats the malt does that.
Yep.
But there's only another distillery that measures that in the actual liquid. So this is Knock 2 distillery that measure. There's only 2 distilleries in the whole Scotland that do it after the distilling. So the reading comes from the liquid. And if you think it was that simple, it's actually even more complicated. Besides playing with all these styles of whiskies, Brian Kinsman came up with the idea of using a Japanese style of whiskies. Now, do you boys know about that anything?
No, please explain.
So what they actually do, as in Japan a lot of distilleries, they have different stills producing different style of whiskies, but they blend them before putting them into casks.
Okay.
So with Ailsa Bay as well, they have different styles of spirits, different distillates, they blend them together, then they age them.
Okay.
So the outcomes from the distillery in terms of style are, I mean, you can have like 10, 12, 15 different styles. That's after playing with the casks. So you can blend distillates and you can blend the casks, the matured casks.
It's a gorgeous looking bottle, and the whiskey itself, I mean, wow, how much has actually gone into actually making this is phenomenal. I like it.
Now I think that this kind of distilleries, they will emerge more in the future, as basically you have one distillery that can produce many outcomes and styles of whiskies. So now everybody who's gonna start opening new distilleries all over Scotland, they will take that in consideration, and there's more demand for peated whiskies, and it's just a more convenient way. Let's call them modern distilleries.
Nice.
Because this is one of the most advanced distilleries in Scotland over there.
So, should we get down to brass tacks and score this baby?
I'm gonna give you another fantastic whiskey fact.
Please, as we write, please, I would like to hear some fun facts.
So, the oldest whiskey in the world. A 400 milliliters bottle of Glenavon special liquor whiskey holds the Guinness record for the world's oldest whiskey.
How old?
It was bottled between 1851 and 1858 from Glenavon or Glenavon distillery that was closed in 1850. So the bottle was sold on auction in 2006 for almost £15,000.
Woo.
Liquid history, my friends. Liquid history.
I wonder what that's going to taste like, though, right?
Wood.
Anyway, so I guess I'll start. It is, innovative and a lovely whiskey. I wasn't expecting a Lowland to taste like this, so I gave it a solid 90. I love the perfect balance of that sweet and smoke.
I enjoyed this whiskey. It's a good dram. I enjoyed it a lot more the second time round, so don't be taken away by the first shot. And I'm going to give that an 84. I like the smoky character that comes out from the Lowland whiskey. It's interesting.
91 from my side. It's a whiskey that I did not expect anything from it, but when I've tried it, I said, wow. So to me, in a whiskey, that's very important, that wow factor it gives. That's something new, that's something you're going to remember.
Definitely.
So 91 from my side.
Definitely wow factor. Wow, so on that note, we told you a bit about us and this beautiful whiskey, Ailsa Bay. So it's time for you to tell us about you guys. So have you tried Ailsa Bay? If you haven't, go and try it. And on that note, I'd like to say cheers. And we're Malt Chronicles, and we're out. To enjoy some more of this whiskey.
Science!